Okay, so today I want to kind of focus on the plane that's parallel to the ground. And so let's say that okay, anytime the arm extends away from the body, away from center, that's yang manifesting. And so anytime the hand comes back to the center, that's a yin motion. Yin is also the center, and outside of ourselves is yang. So in this case, I want to just I want I want to do the circles extending out along this plane parallel to the ground. And then from there, I also want to do figure eights. So we'll have to do S switching and then eventually we'll do figure eights. But I also want to do that coordinated with rocking. So in this case, when we're extending forward, reaching forward, that's connected to a rocking forward. And then when we also come back, that's connected to a rocking back, forward and back. So first we'll start off with just yang circles. Okay. Doesn't matter which leg you start with. Um, we'll say right hand dominant, so right leg, right hand first. Same leg, same hand. What we'll do is, let's see. What we'll do is see if we can uh, remember this. When your when your hand is at center, the palm is facing up, and so we'll leave the left hand out on the side for balance. Again, the left hand can be for balance, or it can be on the abdomen for breathing. So you decide where you want it. But what we'll do is we'll rock forward and we'll circle out and forward. Once we hit the 12 o'clock, we're going to turn the palm facing down. And then we'll return. Once we get to 6 o'clock, we'll then turn the palm again facing up. So there's a coil in there. Now, the important thing is, of course, the tendency is to focus on the hand. We have to revisit Taiji ball theory in that the internal ball moves the external ball. So the center and the dantian move the hand itself. The dantian is propped up on the legs. So in this case, the legs are doing a lot of the driving. That makes sense. So try to get a sense of that in the sense that the legs are holding up the dantian, holding up the torso, and also the arm and hand. If you're able to, see if you can engage your spine for a spinal wave. For the most part, notice that there's a little bit of a rotation in my hips. So my hips are turning to the left and then also to the right. That's helping me to draw the circle. So I'm rocking forward, turning to shoot the hand out. And then I'm also turning and rocking back to bring the hand retracted back in. And then so from there, you should be getting a full body movement. So you'll notice this is yang for this side. Anytime you're going out of the shoulder line, it's going to be yang. And let's just take a second and feel what yin feels like. So we're going to change direction. Same thing. Hand is at the center, palm faces up. And what we'll do is, again, when the hand reaches 12 o'clock, turn the palm to face down. It's really kind of like a flip. So because of the way the arm is sort of coiled, there's a gradual flipping of the hand. Letting the dog run free. So that, that might be fairly easy and simple for you. See if you can switch from yin to yang, implementing the S transition. So you can start at the 12 o'clock, draw S as you pull back at center, and then draw a large circle. And now you're at yang circle. I'll give you a side view. Notice my torso movement, my spine bow opening and closing in coordination with the hand circling. So my hand is extended. I'm retracting it. And so remember that the internal ball moves the external ball. So again, that's facilitated by the legs. So as I'm rocking back, I'm pulling back my hand. And you can see here I have a spinal spine closed position. And this is because the bowing of the closing of the bow, oh, and the closing of the bow is what's going to help to shoot the hand and arm out as the bow opens. So when the bow opens, spine is erect there, right? And the bow closes and retracts the arm and hand. And I rock forward. Notice here now I'm upright. I come back, pull back, closing spine, inhaling, exhaling. And here is where I'm erect. My spine's erect. And then I start to rock back. Again, close the spine. Notice how the retracting and the yin movement is facilitated by closing of the leg bows along with the spine bow. So as I sit back, this back leg is closing, this back bow's closing, the spine bow is also closing, and you can even add a chest bow closing as well. And then I'll rock forward. There, that now the back bow, back leg is extended, spine is erect. The back leg is balanced by the bending of the front leg in this case. And so we switched from yin to yang. Now we can switch from yang to yin. I'm going to do that at the 12 o'clock. I'm going to draw my S. And then large circle. Now I've got yin circles. We've kind of been doing this leg for a while. So let's go ahead and switch legs or switch sides. If you want, you can mirror me. I have my left leg, left hand. Um, and if you feel like you want to switch sides, go ahead and do that too. So again, we're starting over. So let's say we just start over. We're going to draw yang circles. Yang circles is characterized by moving outside of the shoulder line. That's a yang circle. And then, so try to get a sense of moving out or growing out or manifesting out in a way. And then the yin circle is a returning and retracting movement and a closing movement. There is still yin and yang within yang. There's yin and yang, and within yin there's yin and yang. So uh, try not to confuse yourselves, but that should be mentioned. So we've got yang circles established. We've got yin circles established. So breathing is the same in that when you sit back, retract, inhale, and rock forward, extend, exhale. So first get comfortable with yin circles and yang circles. And once you're comfortable with those, add the S transition at the 12 o'clock. So for example, I'm doing yin circles here, and I'm going to add an S transition at my 12 o'clock, which is right there. So I'm going to draw half an S and then another half. And then draw a large circle so that now I'm drawing yang circles. I just switched from yin to yang. So I'll repeat this. Remember that the tendency is to uh, focus on the hand and move the hand. However, our focus should be on moving the center and letting the center move the arm and so that's going to be facilitated by, if we break it down, rotation of the waist, right? And then also a rocking forward and a rocking back of the center propped up on the legs, right? Now, in order to draw our circles, we combine rotation of the torso along with rocking of the legs. So take some time with yourself and with your slow breathing pace. Combine and coordinate movements, yin movements coming in, and yang movements extending out. If you're comfortable with switching, add in a S transition and then draw a large circle. You'll notice that the yin circle is, it may feel familiar um, when we reference the four seasons, uh, shaking the wings. A crane shakes the wings, crane loosens the wings. Um, yeah, it's a similar manifestation of the arm of yin. So the interesting thing is, take a second and we'll watch this here. Whenever I do one circle, that is facilitated by a, let's say a 1-2 rotation. So I do one and I rock forward. That gives me half a circle. And the other half of the circle, I do another rotation and I rock back. That's two. Again, one for half the circle, two for the other half the circle. Notice how when we do the S transition, we have to we have to basically split the timing, and we'll split the timing and multiply the movement, in the sense that for one circle that we've done, we've done two movements, but now when we do a S transition, we're multiplying the movements. So we're gonna have to do, we have two small circles to make the S. I'm trying to see how I could explain this the best way. Um, so we have to do one, two, and then that'll give us our large circle for the S transition. So the S transition is a is like a 1-2, where we have a one and two and one and two and then so when we have to do a transition, we have to do a one, two, and one and two and then again at 12 o'clock, I do, in order to switch, I do one, two, and large circle, one and two, and I'll do it again, one, two. So I hope that kind of explains that. Essentially, it's large circle, one and two, and but then when I want to do a S transition, it's a little quicker movement. And you notice how we have to use the rotation of the torso if we're going to stay in line with the principles of Taiji Ball Qigong, where the center moves the hand, the internal ball moves the external ball. So, of course, you could just circle your hand, right? That would look like this. And then I can do another, or my transition and circle just with the hand. Of course, we want to do a full body movement. So we have to look at the center. Let's move on to figure eights. So the figure eight is going to be switching at the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So 6 o'clock is closest to you, 12 o'clock is farthest from you, right? So try to visualize the eight or the infinity symbol. You're doing a switch, 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 infinitum. Switch, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. So it doesn't have to be a large pattern. What you want to do is just make sure that you have the connection of the center to the hand. That's the most important. So what we're doing is working from internal to external, in the sense that we're trying to coordinate the internal to move the external. And of course, if it makes it easier for you, you can start from external to internal. How that would look is, well, you just simply draw the pattern with your hand. So this would kind of go against the principles. But for those who are unable to coordinate the body and the hand, it helps to start with, well, where am I going, right? In the sense that this is where I want the hand to eventually be moved by the body. So you're seeing the external manifestation. And then from there, you slowly work your way in the sense that you slowly connect your center to the outside pattern, the inside pattern at the center to the outside pattern of the hand. Also, the question is, uh, how does the breathing go? Because you're doing these two movements in a quicker fashion. So I would say for your breathing, any movement that moves the hand away and out is again going to be exhale. Any movement that moves the hand in is going to be inhale. So we've established all the patterns. Um, Yang circle, yin circle, yin to yang S transition, and yang to yin S transition. So two circles, two transitions, and then figure eight. So all of those patterns, they connect easily and seamlessly to one another. Sometimes you know which pattern you're going to draw. Sometimes you don't know which pattern you're going to draw. Sometimes you just flow with the movement. And in no particular order should these, be done. It doesn't quite matter. The important thing is to transition smoothly. So let's say you're not really sure what pattern you're going to be doing or what pattern you want to do. Start at the beginning. So let's do that together. Let's start with yang circle. And then you can choose to change to yin circles via a transition, an S transition, or just start circling the opposite. It's kind of been a while since you switched legs, so I'm going to go ahead and switch legs to do the same thing, yin circles, yang circle. Get pretty warm. Oh, we switch legs. So we were drawing yang circles and yin circles. Next thing to do is go through the transitions as transitions, whether you're drawing yin circles or yang circles. S transitions for both cases. I'll give you a side view here. And then the final pattern we were discussing was the figure eight. And the figure eight is just a series of S transitions. And then sometimes when you're doing the figure eights, you can just add in a large circle. Okay. So let's omit the rocking now. Okay. Let's omit the rocking now. We're going to go to something fun. And what we're going to do is we're going to hone in on and solidify the central equilibrium, the rotation of the waist and torso, and the facilitation of circles. And also what we're going to do is we're going to switch hands. Okay. So get a sense of, see, so you can have your hands out to the side, or you can have your hands at the center. Let's start with the hands out to the side. This should be fun. Okay. So you're starting with your hands out at the side. You're rotating your torso. So as you rotate your torso, get a sense of, let's say, a flexibility, a malleability, softness in the arms and hands. And as you rotate your waist, get a sense of the feeling of hardness and softness. So hardness would look like this, right? Notice how my hands stay fixed, my arms stay fixed. Softness would look like this, right? Because I have a flexibility to my hands, right? So let's try it again. Hardness, rigidness, right? Fixed. Right? You sort of have to tense your tissues in the arms and the hands from the shoulders to the hands and fingers. Now release those tissues so that as you rotate, the arms are soft. Okay. So now as you soften your arms and hands and as you rotate your torso, let the arms and hands swing out and let them retract in a circular fashion so that you're drawing yin circles with both hands. You'll notice how the hands are alternating. Hey, hey, come back. Come here. Sit. And see if you can get a sense of the connection of the waist. So if you have a nice, smooth, fluid, continuous motion of the waist connected to the hand, get a sense of your rhythm and your pace. Maybe in the sense of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, and then add a 1 2 to split the timing. 1 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Maybe Margaret can help us out with that at some point in getting that timing right because mine may be off. But what I'm trying to do is just trying to give you an idea of um, putting movement to a rhythm that helps you stay continuous. So you might be drawing yin circles or yang circles. Now switch whichever circle you're drawing because I see some I see yang circles. I see some just arm movements without circles. I see some yang circles. Whichever you're doing, try to switch it using the waist rotation. So for example, I'm drawing yin circles and now I'm going to switch to yang circles. I don't know if you saw that. So I'll do it again. I'm drawing yin circles and now I'm going to switch to yang circles. And I'm going to switch again to yin. So here I go in 3, 2, 1, and I switch. Notice how it all happens with the rotation of the waist. Okay. So it's possible that the two hands are um, confusing you. Two hands are confusing you. If so, and if you think it'll help you, just do one hand out. And we're focusing on transitioning. So what I'll do is I'll come closer you so you can see how the transition happens. So I'm doing yang circle, and I'm going to slow it down for you. I'm doing yang circle, and I'm going to transition to yin circle. Has to happen at the center. Watch my center. See? So what happens is just this that happens. That's all that happens. Right? So I'm doing yang circles, and then I do a yin, I do a transitional yin and S, and then large circle to switch. Now I'm going to switch again at the 12 o'clock. Right. And so what I should say is, I'm not sure if you'll be able to put these concepts together. So what I should say is the large circles are in a way are static posturing, are hard, rigid posturing, right? Our yin and yang circles are our static, rigid, sort of hard movement. The transitions become the soft movement. So how does that manifest? The transition itself is a soft movement. So the transition is a soft movement to connect two hard movements. Yin being a hard movement, yang being a hard movement. The S transition is a soft movement to connect those. So let me demonstrate and explain. So I'm drawing yin circle, and as mentioned, that's the rigid, hard movement, relative hard movement, right? In order to switch and transition, I'm at the 12 o'clock. I have to soften my arm. That's why it's a soft transition. So here I go at the 12 o'clock. I have to soften my arm so that it can respond smoothly to my waist. I'll demo it again. I'm doing yin circles. When I get to 12 o'clock, I have to soften my arm because I'm doing a rotational movement so that I can change direction. So I'm doing the S transition more so internally than externally, if that makes sense. the S transition because it has to happen externally in order to manifest. Sorry, it has to happen internally in order to manifest externally. So I'm doing yang circles now, yang circles. And I'm going to transition to yin. In order for my hand and arm to be able to respond at the 12 o'clock, it has to soften because remember, I'm doing a 1-2 at the waist, doing a quick 1-2. And that's what allows me to transition to yin. I'll demo it again, doing yang circles. I'm going to go soften, 1, 2, so that I switch to yang. Was I yang already? We'll have to rewind. I have to switch to yin. So what I'll do here is I'll try to change the plane because right here I'm pretty much in line with you. So what I'll do is I'll try to change the plane. I'll sort of alter it at an angle down so that you can see. Watch how I go out now in a downward fashion, angling down. Okay. I'm going yang to yin. Now I'm going to go yin to yang right here. Yeah. So how does that work? How do you manifest that? That is the mechanism is the 1-2, right? If I keep my arm rigid, then it just moves with it, right? But if I soften the arm, then I sort of separate them, and it has that flexible, malleable quality. I hope that's I hope that's I hope that conveys for you. So I'm doing it again. Yang circles at 12 o'clock. I soften the arm. 1, 2. There's my S. Now a large circle, yin circle. I'll do it again at 12 o'clock. 1, 2, S, large circle, yang circle. Transition, large circle, 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 transition, large circle. Switching hands. Let's just focus on switching hands. So here's what's happening now. We're drawing yin circles. Take a look at your hands. Make sure you're drawing yin circles. Look down. That should be coming in to you, not out and away. So yin circle, right? Notice how when you rotate, it pulls the hand in. You snugly tuck the hand into your abdomen. And as you're rotating, the other hand is going out. You're going to rotate again. The one that's out comes in, and the one that's in goes out. The important thing is to try to feel the connection of momentum of center to hand. So to test your connection, do a 1-2, 1-2. To test your connection, rotation of the hips, 1-2, and feel how that manifests in the hand. 1-2. Nama. Right. So I have my pace and my timing. I'm going to do a 1-2 here in a second. Notice the change. 1-2. Let the hands fall at the side. Let the hands move with the rotation of your torso. So just rotate your torso from side to side. Feel the momentum of the arms moving with the waist rotation. Okay. So here in this case, the arms are completely yin, relaxed and soft. Now, keeping the same rhythm in your torso, flex the arms and hands, creating a hard and rigid posture. Right? So you can sort of feel a little bit of conflict in the body there, right? Because something wants to give, something wants to soften up. If you, um, there's mine. If you flex your arms and hands, right, as you're moving your rotation, as you're moving your torso, something wants to feel soft or have a quality of softness, right? Otherwise, when your arms and hands are soft and you're moving your torso, your rotation, that movement, um, it easily flows through the shoulders, elbows, and hands. So we'll take a second and we'll feel the softness and the malleability, the flexibility in the arms and hands, keeping the same rhythm. Flex the arms and hands, stiffening them, and continue your waist rotation. And feel if there's a little bit of a conflict in that the arms and hands are fixed, and there's a little bit of a momentum there in the body that wants to manifest. Where do you feel that? Maybe in the back or in the abdomen, right? Because if you're flexing your shoulders, elbows, hands, and fingers, you'll feel a sort of a recoil, if you will, a recoil in the midsection, right? So then when we soften the shoulders, see if you can soften the shoulders, see if you can soften the elbows, soften the hands, and soften the fingers. And then what we do is control the movement and control the pattern as it's coming from the center into the hand. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend when the hands are close into you, turning the palms up. And for those of you that are interested in throwing darts, this is a good pattern for throwing darts, so long as you have them in your belt line, right? So notice the movement as you come into your belt line, grab the dart, fling it out. That's only possible if you've got a whipping motion in the body. And so this is what we're doing as well, is building that whipping mechanism in the body. If you're able to, try to put some mind and attention into the chest bow and the spine bow, and feel how those want to uh, show themselves in the movement. So if I exaggerate for you, I can demo chest and spine movement. Now I'm just doing a free flow. So I'm revisiting the yin yang pattern parallel to the ground. And now I'm allowing both hands to draw those yin yang circles in pattern. So just to repeat, what we did was we focused on the uh, parallel to the ground plane. We drew yang circles, yin circles, transitions starting at the 12 o'clock, and then figure eights from, or infinity symbols from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 8 patterns. But I would say the most important thing that we did today was we broke down the mechanism of uh, the transition, the S transition, and how that manifests from to the hand itself. In that the transition is a movement of softness in order to in order so that the hand can follow the movement of the body. The hand can follow the movement of the body. I mean, even if you were fixed, even if you were fixed, your hand would still follow the movement of the body, but not in the way that we want to, in the sense of being three-dimensional and having the quality of coiling, because all of this is a coiling motion. So hope you're able to feel that. I'm gonna stop recording here and I'll take some questions.